Ms. Koppas, next question for you. Infrastructure, another lengthy question. Mayor Batchelor has said that infrastructure cannot be provided by developers and must be jump-started by the city either through grants, federal stimulus money, or by citizens' participation. Do you agree with this, or how would you recommend that the needed infrastructure to convert land to a shovel-ready status be accomplished?
Well, as to whether or not that is a direct quote of Mayor Batchelor, I think that he's here, and you could probably ask him of that. But I would say that as far as infrastructure is, right now we do have a policy of development pays its own way, but there's also things in process that we could feasibly look into as far as grants and things like that for infrastructure. I think that as well as focusing on infrastructure, which is a long-term planning thing, we should really try and isolate those areas that are already shovel-ready and try and bring in business that is looking for that specific. I know they're trying to put together a website that says this is the capacity for this land, and I think that a focus should also be put on that, of the areas that are already shovel-ready, as well as looking at doing due diligence and looking at all venues for bringing in infrastructure.
Mr. Besney.
Thank you. Well, I agree with Ms. Koppas that I'm not sure that's a direct quote of Mayor Batchelor, although I do think that may be his sentiment, and I tend to agree with that. We've lost numerous development opportunities and businesses to Vacaville and other nearby locations because they have provided incentives and shovel-ready properties and have continued to reap the rewards of the development that came along after. For a long time, Dixon has had a developer pays their way attitude, and we can see where that's got us. We've gotten very little development from that. I'm not an advocate of rapid growth or big development, but I do think the city has an obligation to look for ways to provide shovel-ready locations, and in particular, because as we see right now with the federal stimulus package, that they are looking to provide funding for cities that have shovel-ready locations for development. And so if it is a direct quote of Mayor Batchelor, I would tend to agree with that, but I'm not sure, as Ms. Koppas said, that that's a direct quote from him. I think it might be an idea that he has, and I don't disagree with it.
Mr. Graska.
I think it's important that we do have shovel-ready dirt, but I don't necessarily think that's practical that the citizens pay for it. I'm not quite sure it's a wise idea to get tied up in federal money. The money's got to come from somewhere. That money's borrowed from somebody else or stolen from somebody else, if you will. Stolen's kind of a strong word, but I mean, take it how you will. I think it would be important to possibly collaborate developers and developments to that way ease the burden, perhaps, if you will, of the required infrastructure that's going to be needed to make those developments happen. I think also if you get projects that are that important and the citizen input wants that development to occur, then I think you have the possibility for using money from the citizens to make those things happen, but only in those cases.